Hi everyone and welcome to our Facebook Live. My name's Alyssa and I'm the marketing manager here at Kitomba. And today I'm so pleased to be here with Kamrin, who is also from the Kitomba team. Hey Kamrin, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks, Alyssa. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. So obviously this is a Kitomba specific Facebook Live, which is awesome. And we've got Kamrin here because Kamrin was on our support team for about a year. So I'm sure you've potentially spoken to Kamrin. Lots of people know his voice and have spoken to him in the past, which is amazing. But he's now part of our marketing team, which is awesome. So he's bringing all of his product knowledge and industry knowledge into the marketing team, which has been great. So we work very, very closely together now, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, it's super fun. Yeah, it's so nice as well seeing like the social media side of stuff and being like, this is, I feel like, what people want, because I was talking to everyone all the time, and like I went to Hair Festival in Sydney, which was like a hair expo, and it was awesome just like to actually see customers I've talked to as well. It's like, oh my god. It was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Today we're here to talk about the business summary report in Kitomba One. So we've been doing a little bit of a campaign about this recently because this really is Kitomba's most powerful report. And so we really hope that all of our customers are running this regularly. And today we're going to show you guys how to use that, how to customize it in Kitomba One, which is one of the coolest things about that report. But also Kamrin is going to give you all of his tips and tricks that he's learnt over the years about this report, because obviously he knows lots and lots of different things. And then also we're going to kind of do a bit of a deep dive into a few of the key KPIs or key performance indicators that the business summary can show you, and kind of show you, like talk about what they are, but also how you can improve them and how Kitomba can help you improve those as well. So I think today's going to be a really informative and great session. And while we're chatting, if you guys have any questions at all, please just pop them in the comments below and expert Kamrin will answer them, because I know some things I know about the business summary, but I'm definitely not at expert level like Kamrin is. So I'm sure he'll.
Sweet.
All right.
Cool.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
pass it over to you, Kamrin.
perfect. I'll get started. I'll just share my screen. There we go. Perfect. So, I mean, I'm sure everyone's used to seeing the screen. There's just Kitomba One. So before I get into it, I just want to give a little bit of a kind of introduction, I guess, to what the business summary is. So I'm sure everyone uses it, but basically it's what we call, it's like a super report. It has so much information, but it gives you the key information that you need to understand and like manage your business and your staff. There are many different places you can get this type of stuff. Even on the scoreboard that we can see here, we can see things like total sales and the number of appointments, how many were rebooked versus non-rebooked, and targets. If you guys use the targets feature, I'm sure you also know all of the KPIs that are involved in that as well. But you can go really deep into the different KPIs and metrics on the business summary. Obviously, the one in Kitomba One is really cool because it's on the cloud, it's on Kitomba One, which means you can access it from any device, any time of the day, anywhere, which is really good. But there's also one big feature for the Kitomba One business summary when we developed it, and that it's customizable. So you are able to take out and add in metrics that actually you care about and that you're interested in, and the things that just kind of clutter and that you don't really care about, you can get rid of that stuff. So basically, to get to the business summary, because it's a report, we go into reporting at the top and we click on reports. And once that's loaded, the very top one is the business summary. It's the best report. So right at the top, easy to get to. When you click onto the report, you have a few different kind of report options. So the main one obviously being the date. With things like the business summary, I find it's really good to use for kind of older date ranges. So running the business summary for like yesterday may not be the best kind of indicator. You'd probably want to use like the scoreboard or targets to see kind of yesterday's stuff. You'll want to use the business summary for like last week, last month, last quarter, those kinds of things. And then you're able to kind of take a look back and see how your like trend line is going for all of your KPIs by looking at the different kind of quarters and months back. So I'm going to run this one for last month, and you can either just select the days that you want, or you can actually do it just by clicking like last month, last quarter. We've made it super easy for you to figure it out. There's only one other report option. This is both in the Kitomba business summary and Kitomba One, which is how do you credit services? So whether it's a designated salesperson, so like the person that made the invoice, or who was it booked under, who did the work. So we usually just stick to who did work, but if you want to do it under salesperson, that's absolutely fine. Once you click that, it'll generate. Depending on how far back you go, if you're looking at years and years worth, it might take a little bit of time. If it does, just click notify me, and then it will just kind of pop up on Kitomba One when it's ready to go. But obviously, it's just last month. It didn't take too long at all. So this is basically what the business summary looks like. You can see here, it's just a regular table. You see a list of your staff on the side, and the top column, the top row is your business, like the entire business. You can see all of the metrics. All of these ones I've chosen because I'm interested in these, but they might look different to yours. You can add and remove them as you need to, and also different staff can add and remove them. So maybe the spa manager is looking at the day-to-day stuff, whereas the owner's looking at things like sales numbers. So each login that you give access to within the security settings in the Kitomba One can have their own kind of like settings for the business summary, which is really nice as well. So here we've got the business summary report. You can choose between whether it's exclusive and inclusive for GST. You can also really easily just filter and sort all of this data by what you want. So like if I want to see who sold the most services, I can just click this and it'll give me both. If I click again, I can change it from ascending and descending order. I can change exactly how like it's sorted, which means I can see that Oliver sold the most, and then Chloe, and then Mia on this test database. So that's really nice as well. So if you're trying to figure out things really easily, you can just add that onto the metric and then just click, okay, who sold the most appointment retail? And then you can see it there. So that's kind of the main part of the business summary. The other part is the customization that I talked about before. So to do that, you just click add and remove columns, this little button up here. And when you click into it, you'll see all of the KPIs. There are a lot of them that you can choose. And just by clicking and unticking and ticking them again, you can choose exactly which ones. So we've got both client KPIs and sales KPIs that you can choose from. And then if you want, I believe it's up to 5 or 6 different product or service categories, you can select them as well. So if I wanted to take a look at, let's say, a product range, if I'm doing, for instance, a bit of a competition within the staff that I want to see who can sell the most Di Lorenzo products, let's say, I can choose Di Lorenzo and select that category. And whether it's a service category or a product category, you've got different KPIs you can look at. So for products, you've got the number of products sold and then the dollar value of products sold. And for services, it's very similar, but you also have like the amount of sales and then the amount of services sold, which is really cool. So that's kind of it's pretty easy to get your head around. Actually, the one other thing I'd probably want to kind of note, you can reorder any of these KPIs by literally just dragging it around. So if you want to take a look at your total sales first, then services sold, then appointment retail sold, and then walk-in retail sold, you can kind of just like move them around like that, if you want to. So yeah, that's basically the kind of KPIs that I think are really interesting. That's the kind of how to use it. We'll get into the KPIs. So we look at a few different KPIs, and I've been talking to customers of ours, know what KPIs I kind of look at. One that I think is really cool is just the client rebooking percentage. Mm-hmm. It's a really good one to look at in terms of seeing how well both the business is doing as a whole and how your staff are doing. Rebooking clients are really, really important. So I'm sure everyone already knows, but a rebooked kind of client is a client that made a new booking within 24 hours of their visit. So it doesn't matter if they booked on the spot when they checked out or if they went home, booked online on the online booking system. As long as it's in 24 hours, the system knows that it's the same client and that they've been rebooked. And the reason that it's, I guess, so important is that it shows how loyal your customers are. If a customer is willing to book at your business, you can kind of consider it guaranteed income, because a loyal customer is far less likely to cancel than a new customer. And even if they can't make it, they'll usually reschedule rather than just straight up canceling. So it's really important to get your client rebook rate up. Obviously, in Kitomba One, it's just here, the client rebook button. So that's probably, I would say, a really good KPI. If you're looking to improve it, if you think that your rebooking rate isn't the best, which you can also see our benchmark feature in Kitomba One, you're able to see kind of with other businesses around you what kind of the average is. So you're able to kind of see if your rebooking rate is kind of where you think it should be, or maybe you need to improve a little bit. If you do, one of the easiest ways to do it is just to teach your staff how to rebook. When a customer is checking out, get them to ask the client whether they want to rebook for next time. your staff are they're the experts. They know that if someone's coming in for a specific service, they should be returning every 4 weeks or every 6 weeks to get that service again for the best results. And so when your staff share that information with the customer to say, hey, you should be coming in about a month, let's book you in, the customer will get a better result, so they're going to be happy. But then your rebooking rate raises, so you're happy as well. I would say the other kind of features you can look at if you're wanting rebook, if you're having trouble with people not booking in again, introduce a loyalty program. We've got a loyalty feature in Kitomba. Kitomba itself, the program, it actually has a feature where you can prompt staff to rebook your client. So if you check someone out, it can pop up saying like, hey, would they like to rebook? So just in case you're finding that your staff aren't talking to your customers about rebooking, this is a great way to kind of prompt your staff just to remember to do that. And I guess the other kind of thing I would say that can help you as well is that some clients may be a bit scared on committing to book in. We are able to just pencil an appointment. So you can, when you book an appointment, change it to just penciled in. It might just make it a bit more less set in stone for the customer. So it might just make them a bit more kind of willing to book in like that. So that's, I would say that's a KPI that I really enjoy and that I think our clients really like as well. Alyssa, did you have one that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, the one that I want to touch on is your client revisit rate. And I will give an example, which will show why it is my favorite, because I think it can it can be a huge game changer for your business. So in Kitomba, I know Cameron's just read it as I was going to read it, so I read it for myself. It's called client average visits per year. So, and yeah, I guess what the industry kind of calls it is your client revisit rate. So essentially the definition of that is that it's the average number of times per year that your clients visit your business. So I'll give you a quick example, which I've got here, which kind of, like I said, will show how important this KPI is. So let's just say your annual revenue is $400,000 and your client revisit rate at the moment is 8 weeks. If you reduced your revisit rate by just 1 day, so that's to 7 weeks and 6 days, that would be an additional $7,200 added to your annual revenue. But imagine if you actually reduce that by 1 week, so from 8 weeks down to 7 weeks, which in our industry is definitely not, that's not impossible. That would actually be, kind of if you think about how often your clients should be visiting between appointments, that's absolutely a reasonable time frame. So if you were to reduce it by 1 week, so from 8 weeks down to 7 weeks, that could increase your annual revenue by $56,000. Now that is a substantial amount of money, and that's just one example, and that's just one kind of example using $400 as your annual revenue. So that is why this number makes me so excited, because it is incredible, the results that you can see if you really look at it. So we kind of, from our perspective, the most important thing here is that you're really tracking that number. So, look at your business summary, look at where you're at. And no matter where you're at, it's actually an opportunity for improvement and to start seeing that increase in revenue there. So first things first, look at that KPI, make sure that you customize this business summary and add that column in so you can look at it. And the next thing that we suggest really is sitting down and looking at the services that your business offers, and then actually thinking about, well, how often do I want to, on average, be seeing my clients? So if you're a hair business and you do lots of colors, potentially you're thinking, okay, well, I'd actually really like to see my clients every 6 weeks. Whereas if you do a lot of facials, you probably want to be seeing them every 4 weeks. And so it's just sitting down and deciding, what is the ideal client revisit rate for my business, and then looking back at what you're currently doing, and then seeing how you can improve that. And there are lots of different ways. And, Cameron said the exact same thing with rebooking rate. It's actually stopping and, remembering that you guys are the experts. So it's not really up to your client to say, I'm going to come back in 7 or 8 weeks. It's actually you saying, look, I'm going to need to see you in 4 weeks' time so that we can maintain the results that we've, managed to get with your skin. So, 4 weeks' time is this date, would you like to rebook? And that, kind of using your experience and your expertise and getting your clients to come back in more often automatically kind of lifts that. A Kitomba feature that's amazing to really help you improve your client revisit rate as well is Kitomba Everyday Marketing. So you can actually set up a text or an email to go out to your clients automatically if they haven't booked within a certain time period. So let's just say, for example, you're a hair business, you want your clients to come back every 6 weeks, and your clients haven't booked in after 4 weeks from their previous appointment. Kitomba could automatically send them an email saying, hey, we've noticed you don't have a future appointment booked in. It'd be great to get you in within the next 2 weeks so that, you're here within the next 6. Book now. And you can have a link to your online booking system. And it's just that automatic prompt. It's running in the background. You don't have to do any work. And hopefully those bookings are coming through and that revisit rate is dropping down as well. So that would be kind of my tip and my key KPI there for people to be looking at.
Yeah, sweet. No, that's absolutely true. Like I know everyday marketing is like, I've always said it as like my favorite feature because it is just so good. Once you set it up, you can do so many things with it, whether it's like birthday texts, whether it's rebooking people if they haven't come back in X amount of time, which you can customize all of that. We were using the example of 6 weeks, but you can say after 4 weeks, after 3 weeks, send them this. Which is really, really good. If you find that you're getting a lot of people booking in like a day or two after, or if you're finding that a lot of people kind of want to say, I'll just go home and look at my calendar and then I'll get back, you can set it up to send them a text message a day after their appointment to say, hey, we hope you enjoyed it. It's also a great chance to get feedback because feedback is always great for a business, but to say, hey, we loved having you there. If you haven't already, please jump onto our online booking site to secure your next appointment because we are so busy at this time, and especially leading up to Christmas, I know everyone is going to be busy. And it's just such a powerful tool.
Definitely.
Cool. I actually had just one more KPI that I was going to talk about, which is the appointment retail sales percentage. So it's not just the dollar amount of appointment retail sales. It's looking at the percentage of how many clients purchased retail with a service. It's actually not on my one, so I'm going to edit now. So it is the appointment retail sales percentage, number of visits. What this does is it shows you how often people are buying products with their service. Retail sales is such a great part to grow in your business. If you don't kind of use a lot of retail sales in your everyday kind of speak with your clients, it's such a missed opportunity because there are so many benefits. I mean, just from the fact of if your clients are using the proper products in the aftercare routine, that just makes as staff such a better kind of, such a better time. Also the fact that clients will enjoy it when you have specials because I don't know, seasonal products. At the spa I worked at, we had a seasonal kind of range that would come out every season, and so because of that, we would make a facial based on that, and we would sell those products. And it was such a nice way to get our regular clients to try something new. If they would come in for facials, they would come in for the seasonal facial when it came out, and they'll be really excited about it. They would love the scent, and they would buy the products associated with that season. It was just such an incredible way to kind of grow another aspect of your business. I feel like a lot of people kind of already have, especially with lockdowns. We found a lot of product delivery kind of things going on where no one could visit the salon. At least you were able to get your products that you stocked in salon to your customers. And I think it would be such a shame to not continue that growth as we kind of move away from things like lockdowns. So obviously, it's a pretty simple thing to increase. So to increase the number of retail sales with an appointment, you need to get your staff who are doing those treatments to really upsell. If your staff don't feel comfortable, it might be time to create like an incentive scheme. So at the spa that I worked at, we did like a bingo kind of thing every few months. So we would make this 3x3 grids and be like, sell 5 spa rituals, sell 5 retail products, sell 5 vouchers, and if we got that line, we'll get a little gift, whether it's let's have a team lunch, or let's get a little mini tester or something to take home. Or we were a gym as well, so I think one of them was just get a personalized plan from the PT. It's just those little things that might not actually cost your business a lot, but it really motivates your staff. It really teaches them a lot about talking to their clients. It makes them feel more confident because it makes them feel like they are an expert, which they are. And it's just such an incredible kind of thing to I guess, kind of bond as a team. Like, we were quite competitive at the spa, so we were trying our best to, like, not like steal any clients, but like definitely when someone will come in and be like, "Oh, your skin looks beautiful. Would you like a moisturizer?" Like, it was such a good time. Yeah, so like it's definitely kind of a point you could use to kind of improve. We do have features as well that can work. I know one of the things that I love is packages. A lot of people kind of bundle services together to create a package, but you can actually add products to it as well. So let's say as a special, you want to make a package where it's book in a facial, get a free cleanser, let's say. You can make that and let people book that entire package in your system with the retail product. And then at the time of purchase, when you click make sale, it'll just add that to the kind of docket, which is really, really cool. I think there's a few different things you can use. You have to get creative and you have to really motivate your staff, because I know a lot of people, especially younger staff members, they might not be kind of comfortable. They might think it's like selling to their clients, but it really is helping everyone, helping your business in terms of revenue, helping the staff in terms of understanding the products. I know we did a lot of training at the spa that I worked at around the products, what they do, how you can tell, even as a receptionist, how you can tell kind of what product they might need as well, and maybe like a product to focus on each month to really kind of push, which was, it was a really good time. I think that's all the KPIs that I was going to talk about. I wanted to go through two kind of fun tips that I actually didn't realize for like quite a while, and then I learned about them and I was very excited. So in Kitomba, there's a special report that you run. I can't remember the name of it now, where basically you get a date range and then it will show you a bunch of KPIs for each week in that date range. So it's really easy to kind of track kind of how well you're going over like a period of time. You can actually do this. That is inbuilt in this business summary. It's right here is a button that just says by week, and I never knew about it. It almost like, I think I just glazed over it. I didn't even know it was there. But when you click it, what it does is it takes a look at, for just the business, I think, it will look at all the KPIs and then we'll do it by week, how kind of well you're going on each of those. Because this is a test database, it may look a bit weird. There might not be like kind of great kind of data in here, but as you can see, like from the 25th of July, 18th, 11th, 4th, and the 27th of June, you can see kind of how well, like for instance, the client rebook rate was really good. It kind of declined a bit, jumped back up, went huge on the 18th of June. Seeing it this way really helps you understand through a timeline how well you're doing, which I think is really, really cool. So if you haven't used that feature and you're finding that you're like running all these reports and exporting them all the time to make these like data kind of graphs and stuff, you can actually just do it in Kitomba 1, which I think is really nice.
So cool. I've just glanced over that button. It shows you how you honestly, I've put that button thousands of times and I've just never clicked it.
It was honestly months after like using Kitomba 1 and like seeing it all the time and just like not really kind of like seeing what it was, and then like someone clicked it, or like I think my team leader showed me and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. I love it. It's really, really cool. And obviously you can now export all of these, so you can download all this data and it just makes it into a CSV file. So if you do think like things like graphs, or if your accountant needs data that they can manipulate, you can download business summary into a CSV file to get all that information, which is quite cool. The only other thing I was going to explain is in the add remove column section, as I mentioned, there are many, many KPIs, and a lot of people might not know what they are. We've tried to kind of name them to be kind of pretty self-explanatory, but if you aren't sure what a KPI is in Kitomba 1, if you just hover over it, it'll actually give you a bit of a description. It's just a small thing, but I know a lot of people don't realize that, if you are not sure what walk-in retail sold is, the total number of products sold as part of a walk-in sale. It's a visit where no services were sold. Like, it really kind of explains it to you. So obviously, if you are unsure about a KPI, always talk with us, chat us, email us. We're happy to always explain how, like, what things are, how they're calculated. But basically, in the business summary, at least, you can hover over and kind of see what each thing is, decide if you want to track it, chuck it on. If you decide, actually, I don't really want to track this, take it off. Make it really simple and easy for your report, so you can understand it and read it and kind of grow as a business and understand where your business is at, and then use that week view to see if it's growing, if you're meeting your goals and stuff. So I think that's everything from me. Anything else you want to talk about, Alyssa? Otherwise, I think
no, I think you've covered it all.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cameron.
No
So we
worries.
really hope that you guys enjoyed that session. Like we said, we've been really focusing on the business summary this month, or sorry, I should say July. So if you pop onto our social media channels and onto our blog, we've got lots of amazing content about it, support guides. I also did a Facebook Live a few weeks ago with an amazing business coach, Paul Carbis, and he actually spoke about how he uses it with his clients, and gave some really great examples as well and things that you should be looking at. So I really recommend you kind of scrolling through that and doing that. But also, as always, if you guys do need any help, our support team is available via phone, email, and web chat. So please don't hesitate to get in touch with them. They are so knowledgeable, and they really will solve all of your problems, and show you all the things that might look at every day and just miss. And also, we really do recommend that you guys follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Just search Kitomba and we'll come up. We're always sharing a lot of tips and content and kind of ideas and things about features that can help you make your business more successful. So I really encourage you guys to follow us. But yeah, other than that, I think that's us for today, Cameron.
Yes, I think it is. Yeah. So I hope everyone enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll be back next week or so to do another Facebook Live with someone.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Thank you
Awesome.
so much again, Cameron. And thank you guys, everyone, for watching. And we'll see you all on our next Facebook Live. See you, everyone.
Sweet. Bye.